since my batik paintings were posted on YouTube and the internet, many people asked if I could go over the steps again when I created the batik I call Green Mansions. Well, here it is. I hope I can make it clearer for you all. I first made a rough outline on paper. I wanted my painting to connect to the winged panels, so I had to carefully engineer the flow of my design so that when I put it all together, my separate images would all line up and match. I laid cotton muslin over my outlines, and since the design was done in a heavy black line, I was able to see through the cloth so I could start brushing in my colored dyes. I selected very light colors to begin with. I had to cut up the paper pad and the cloth so that I could adjust the areas of the design so that they would match up when I reassembled them. Years ago I worked for Vera Scarves, which really came in handy for this project. I was in charge of designing the panel blouses and dresses. This gave me the engineering skill that came in handy for the construction of this particular batik. At this stage I had dyed different areas in fairly light colors, which made it easier for me to see what direction I was headed for. Now the fun begins. I use different jaunting tools in order to select the areas that I wanted to protect from future dyeing. After several days of working on the batik, I am able to see my painting beginning to evolve. At this stage, I am able to be fairly free with my dyeing as selected areas are protected with the wax. Now I am able to see my design appearing as I wanted it. So I am careful to retain the areas that I like by protecting them by applying wax with my jaunting tools. I have to keep arranging the panels together so I can control the placement of colors and design so everything matches up. Good luck. Each time I applied my colors, I went a little stronger in hues. At this stage I have applied more wax in selected areas and added more dyes in order to define the areas I wanted to protect. I have been using cold water Procyon dyes, which I find to be the best. They are easy to use and are permanent colors. I melt my wax in an electric fry pan. I use a combination of beeswax and paraffin. The proportions vary depending on the effects I want. More beeswax gives you less crackle. More paraffin gives you the fine lines that I also want. This last process is do or die. I have been working in batik for over 50 years, and sometimes after all my work, this last process can mess up everything I did before I arrive at this point. Now there's no turning back. With a wide paintbrush, I coated every panel with the wax, a hot wax. I then let it cool off, then I crushed it and folded the batik so the wax would crack in order to create the veining that I wanted to achieve. I poured dye over all the panels and let them dry overnight. I then ironed off all the wax in between the paper towels and then laminated the batik on wooden panels with a polyurethane varnish. I poured dye over all of the panels and I let them dry overnight. I then ironed off all of the wax in between paper towels, and then I laminated the batik cloth on wooden panels with a polyurethane varnish. Here is the finished product, my Green Mansions. I hope I made it clear. If not, give me a call.